What's up, guys? It's Matt, and welcome back to NFL Picks. We're in week 17, and I shouldn't say we because it is just me, Matt. Shroud is on vacation for 2 weeks, so I'm not sure if he's going to be here next week, but it's just going to be me this week for the picks. So, but he did send me his picks, so we're gonna get his answers because he went 12-4. Seems like he's doing a better job than me right now. So yeah, his picks are a lot more important as of right now. So let's get into these picks, man. Let's see if we can keep this lead. I only got 4-game lead on him. Let's go. Jets versus Browns Thursday night. Jets 6-9. I don't want to say handled the Commanders because they kind of got close when Jacoby Brissett got in. What was it, like 7-27, I think, and they almost blew that lead to the Commanders. It's yikes. But then you got the Browns, who pretty much just handled business against the Texans, just a strong lead at the start and never looked back. Joe Flacco, everybody's talking about Flacco-sance. Might just be a thing. They are now 10-5, and it's an upset watch because the Jets could just win any week. You just never know. But I'm gonna go with the Browns here. I think they're just gonna keep winning, and Shroud says otherwise, so I get listen to him. Listen to him. He knows his stuff. All right, after Thursday, we got the Lions and Cowboys. Lions coming off of a big fat dub over the Vikings to give them the NFC Championship, the NFC North Championship. They got it. They claimed the North. First time in 30 years, or like really the first time ever, because it's never been like it was the NFC Central before the last time they won it. So they've never won the NFC North technically, and they just did it. So big congrats to them. Cowboys, valiant effort against the Dolphins. All right, listen. I'm sick of the slander. Like Cowboys fans are saying it's the end of the world. Everybody's like screaming at the Cowboys, giving them like shit, and I'm like, dude, they lost by 2 points. The Dolphins and Cowboys are both good teams, all right, and I think they're both gonna win their first rounds of the playoffs. All right, that's just how I feel. So I'm not worried about them. In fact, I think since the Lions won this week and claimed their NFC North crown already, we're gonna give this to the Cowboys in a pog match. And we're going to give this to Shroud too. He picked the Cowboys. Alright, moving on. We got the Titans and the Texans. Titans coming off a close match with the Seahawks. Seahawks almost did everything they could to sell that game, but Geno Smith's like, nah, man, I'm him. They write me off. I ain't right back though, and that's basically what happened. The Texans just got kind of manhandled by the Browns. Really didn't stand a chance. They got a kick return though. I mean, Damian Pierce, kick return, punt return. We nah. But I can definitely see an upset happening here, cause C.J. Stroud might still be out. But if C.J. Stroud is playing, I'll probably pick the Texans. But then again, we don't want that to happen. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm going to give this to the Titans. And Shroud disagrees. He's going with Shroud. Shroud is going with Shroud. It's very confusing, I know. Give me a second. All right. Falcons, Bears, next game. I think those are on Sunday. Let me just double check real quick. Oh, God. I'll play that. But let me tell you about the Falcons. Falcons blew, I really just blew the Colts out of the water. And then you got the Bears, who handled business against the Cardinals. The number 1, number 2 picks of the draft went head-to-head, and the Bears remained victorious. Of course, their pick is from the Panthers, who lost, by the way, but we'll get into that. So it really doesn't matter, but they did lose. Unfortunate for the Cardinals, but Bears got the dub. So both of these teams are coming off dubs. I'm going to go with the hotter team right now. I think the hottest team is more. I'm going with the Bears, and I'm pretty sure Shroud is going with the Falcons. So this another disagreement. Go with his options, man. I don't know anything. So what I can confirm is the Lions and Cowboys is the only Saturday game after the Jets and Browns, and then everything else is Sunday. Everything. There is no Monday game. Wow. Oh, yeah, I forgot. They don't do Monday games in Week 17 and 18. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's go with the Dolphins and the Ravens. Dolphins coming off a big win against the Cowboys. Ravens coming off a massive win over the 49ers. I mean, just exposed Brock Purdy. I'm not going to say exposed him. But, I mean, he got exposed, all right? He didn't get exposed because he's a bad QB. He got exposed from his MVP. It was too much for him, and he threw 4 picks. He had one. This game would have proved it, that he was MVP caliber, and he throws 4 interceptions. That's just unacceptable. But the Ravens, also a weird safety happened. Lamar Jackson just tripped over a referee. Listen, I'm not going to discredit the Ravens here, but I think the Dolphins. I predicted ever since all this shenanigans started. Like say, like by week 4, I wanted the Dolphins to get the 1 seed. You know, when it's all said and done, when Bengals were out of it, I'm like, I want the Dolphins to get the 1 seed. So I'm picking the Dolphins to win this very, very pog match. And Shroud disagrees because he likes what he saw from that Ravens defense. And he's picking them in Baltimore. All right. Next game, pretty big one. Saints-Buccaneers. Divisional matchup. Probably whoever wins this wins the NFC South. A lot of people are picking Baker here. But like I said, at my beginning record predictions, I predicted the Saints to win the division. And they have a shot to do it. So I did like what I saw from Derek Carr at the end of that Rams game. Maybe it unleashed something. Pog match, obviously, because this is a really important game for that NFC South determination. And we're going to go. I'm going with the Saints. I'm rocking with them. I know this is an upset. I picked a few small upsets already, but hey, man, this season's been crazy. I bet Shroud picked the Bucs because that's his team. Go figure. Should be a good game, though. I would not be surprised. Baker Mayfield's been lighting it the fuck up, man. All right. Next up, Patriots going into Buffalo, Orchard Park at 4-11. And the Buffalo Bills are 9-6. Just measly took care of business against the Chargers. Barely. Just escaped with that win. James Cook really kept the Chargers in it by fumbling the ball. Nobody knows what's going on with him. But like I said, James Cook, huge game with Cowboys in next week. Fizzles against the Chargers. Keeps them in the game. Very close game, too. You can't have that happening, man. Josh Allen also threw a pick. I mean, that's he's been throwing a pick every game, though. It seems like it really doesn't matter. But it would matter if, like, they lose. If they lose by a possession, apparently, it's because Josh Allen threw a pick. Like, it doesn't make sense. If they win, they're like, oh, Josh Allen threw a pick, whatever. I don't know. It's not really a double-edged sword with them. Anyways, yeah, they should win this game. They're coming for their division. They really want to beat the Dolphins again and claim that AFC East crown. Obviously, it's out of reach for the Patriots. They're focusing on the draft. They could definitely try and steal this game from the Bills, though. They want to play spoiler. Let's see if they do it. But I'm going with the Bills here. So is Shroud. Moving on. Cardinals, Eagles. If the Eagles lose this game, I'd be very concerned. It's definitely an upset alert because Eagles defense, that secondary, not been looking good. Jalen Hurts, just throwing the ball in general, not looking good. Like they can't blow any team out. That's the scariest part. That is going to matter in the playoffs. If you can't keep a lead, that is concerning. Because the team might just eat you alive. Ugh, jeez. Whew. Anyways, I'm done ranting about the Eagles. Cardinals. Didn't look good against the Bears. Yeah, they didn't really look good against the Bears. I mean, they turned the ball over a couple times, but just didn't matter at the end. Bears were just kept that lead. Didn't look back. Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles here. Shroud's going with them too. You just can't pick the Cardinals to win, especially against the Eagles, who've just looked so dominant. Not recently, but like the record says it all, man. You just can't pick this game. You can't do it. I don't know who would. Eagles got to get back on track though, or I might pick them to get upset. Like at this point for the Eagles, the rest of the regular season does not matter. The only regular season like issue you want to resolve is try and blow a team out. Try and gain some momentum for the playoffs. But if you don't have that, I am not picking you. You're done. You're gonna lose first round. All right, moving on. Panthers, Jacksonville. The Panthers' loss looked more convincing than the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. This is ridiculous, man. What is happening with Jacksonville? They were down 30-0 against the Bucs at one point, and they got like garbage time touchdowns. I guess I think they got touchdowns. I don't know. Very concerned about them, but they are playing the Panthers, who looked really good actually against the Packers. Joe Barry almost gave them a win, but the Packers escaped obviously, and Jacksonville went down 30-0. I don't know. That defense is looking sus as well. Definitely can see an upset happening here. Am I gonna pick it? Absolutely not. No, neither is Shroud. We're smarter than that. All right, I don't care. And that was like Bryce Young's greatest game in a very long time. That might be his first like really good game he had. And it took the Packers secondary. I don't think it'll happen again. Jags should win, right? I don't know how long Trevor Lawrence is going to be out. I don't know if he finished this game. I didn't really watch the Buccaneers. I just kind of saw the score. I'm assuming Trevor Lawrence didn't come back in the game, so we'll see how he's doing. I might still pick the I'll just say it. I'll still pick the Jaguars even if Trevor Lawrence isn't playing, because I just think the Panthers are they're kind of dead in the water. I mean, they're competing. That's good for them, but you know, it's just not. It's not going to be really consistent with them, right? All right, next game Sunday: Raiders Colts. Huge game. Oh my God, the Raiders went into the Arrowhead and just shit on the Chiefs. Two defensive touchdowns in 7 seconds. That defense played insane too. They held them to like 7 points until like 2 minutes left in the game. Oh my. But and they're facing against the Colts, who struggled deeply with the Falcons. This might be the start of a losing streak for the Colts. It's not that I didn't believe in them or didn't think they could make the playoffs. But, I mean, I literally picked the Colts to win last week. I believed in them, and they just crumbled. So, I can't do it. I'm going to pick the team that has impressed me a lot in the AFC West especially. Has come back and could potentially win the division if the Chiefs lose out and they win out. I'm picking the Raiders this week to get back to 500. And the Colts to also get back to 500 in the worst way possible. And Shroud agrees. He likes what he saw from the Raiders. Keep that momentum going, Raiders. You can make it. All right. And also, if the Chiefs lose out, there's a very good chance if they don't win the AFC West, they're out of the playoffs. Due to those tiebreakers, the teams that would get the wild cards currently would have the tiebreaker. Like, if the Chiefs lose out, that would mean they lost to the Bengals. And we'll just explain that when we get here. We'll explain that when we get there. But I think you know what I mean. Rams, Giants. I'm kind of done with the Giants. But Tyrod Taylor showed some promise. I don't know if they're going to start Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito. Frankly, it doesn't matter. The Rams are too good. You got to respect Matthew Stafford still slinging that thing with some great receivers. He has created really good receivers in history of his career. You look at Cooper Kupp's Triple Crown. You look at Calvin Johnson, and now you got Puka Nacua setting rookie records. It's just incredible what he's done. Very underrated quarterback, and of course he won that Super Bowl against the Bengals. But I'm gonna pick the Rams here out of respect, and Shroud also agreed. So we're gonna move on. The Rams. This would give Rams probably a solid 6-seed spot. That would pretty much solidify it, right? There's a very low chance they would get in that after they win this game. So, moving on, it should be an ass beating. I don't care how bad Brock Purdy looked, all right? It's not going to happen again. They're playing the Commanders. They should blow them out. It's still the 49ers. Not too worried. Give me the ass beating of the week to the 49ers. And they've had multiple ass beatings nominations. So, with that, we're moving on to the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season. I bet you're tired of fucking hearing that. I bet you are done. I bet you want him to have it. Well, in order for the Steelers to have a losing season, they have to lose out. And they're playing the Seattle Seahawks, and the next week the Baltimore Ravens. So it's very possible. And I'm making it come down to the final week. Mike Tomlin's winning season will be on the line. Week 18, book it. Seattle Seahawks win. Geno Smith looks good. Solid game with the Titans. I think the game was a lot further out of reach for the Titans than the score shows. So. And he agrees. I think he's done. I think he thinks the game against the Bengals was a fluke. Now, George Pickens had an amazing game. Our secondary fucking sucked. Big cock. But it doesn't matter. But George Pickens kind of needed that breakout game. Is it going to happen again? I doubt it. I don't think they're going to have a game like that. Bengals secondary has been very sus this entire season. Seattle Seahawks defense kind of stepping it up, so we'll see what they can do against the Pittsburgh Steelers with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer guiding them. All right. 4 o'clock game. Bengals Bengals going to Arrowhead Stadium another time. This time it's Jake Browning instead of Joe Burrow. Chiefs have been struggling recently. Raiders just destroyed them. That defense just completely shut them down. Seems Taylor Swift is being a lot more of a distraction to Travis Kelce than we originally thought. He's almost ruining his career. Like, you got it, bro. You've got to focus on football. You are looking at a downhill spiral, man. We'll see what they do against the Bengals. The Bengals, just a very bad week against the Steelers. Are they ever going to beat a divisional opponent? Who knows? But they are 8-2 against non-divisional opponents. So that's why I am picking the Bengals, my team. Also, the Chiefs. Again, we're going to talk about that since that Raiders game. If the Chiefs lose out, they are not making the playoffs because due to the people ahead of them. So you think if the Chiefs lose out, that would indicate they lost to the Bengals. And if the Bengals make the playoffs, make the wild card, they obviously have it over them. If the Bills make it, guess what? Even if they don't win if the Bills don't win the division, guess what? Bills make it over them. They have the tiebreaker. Who else has a tiebreaker? Probably the Texans and Colts because of those conference wins. It'd be very hard for the Chiefs to win to make the playoffs at 9-8. So, Chiefs better hope they win. But I'm hoping the Bengals win. If the Bengals win out and the Steelers lose one game, they make the playoffs. So there's some playoff scenarios going on right now. Bengals are not out of it. I thought they were dead in the water after the loss to the Steelers, and then a bunch of shit happened that had to happen for them to have a chance, and it all happened. So here we are, thinking the Bengals season was over, and now it's pretty far from that. A win in Arrowhead with Tony Romo and Jim Nantz announcing. Sounds pretty Bengals to me. We'll see what happens. Go Bengals, and also Shroud agrees. That blows my mind. He picks the Bengals over the Chiefs. He did not like what he saw in Arrowhead, and it might, you might get the same story this week. All right. Second last game, we got Broncos hosting the Chargers. I forgot to hide his selection, but Shroud definitely picks the Broncos. I'm going with the Broncos as well. I think it's going to be a snooze fest due to the Broncos not having any offense recently and really failing to the Patriots. And then the Chargers, I mean, close game with the Bills, but the Chargers are kind of out of the playoff race, so this doesn't matter. This game really doesn't matter. I mean, if the Broncos win, maybe it does matter, but the game itself, probably not going to be that entertaining. I would be surprised if it's a lot more entertaining than it is. Maybe Courtland Sutton gets a crazy fucking pass, or Pat Surtain gets a crazy interception. I don't know. Something's going to happen. Something crazy. Maybe a fumble. Whatever. But if those don't happen, it's a snooze fest. All right, last game of the week. You got Packers, Vikings. I'm surprised they didn't flex this game out. But this is Sunday night. Due to no Monday games, keep that in mind. No Monday night. This is Sunday night. This is the last game of the week. Packers, Vikings. A spot. Pretty much, if you lose this game, you're out of the playoffs. If you lose this game, you are eliminated from playoffs. So whoever wins this game keeps their playoff hopes alive. Give me the team that doesn't have a shit defense overall. Give me the team that has a very good receiver. Give me the team whose quarterback may have thrown 4 picks, but he also threw for 400 yards last week. I'm talking about the Minnesota Vikings. And Shroud disagrees. He says Packers win it. That's an upset to me, but they got the same record, so we'll see. I like Minnesota at home. I like their defense more. It's not sus. And I like the Vikings to finish second in the North. Maybe have a chance to make the playoffs. And that's going to be the picks, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Let us know your predictions down below and hope to see Shroud next week. I'll see you guys next time. Hakuna Matata. And hope you have a happy new year.